Okay, so we'll start in a seated position. Just make sure that you've grabbed any blocks or anything that you might need for additional support, maybe a blanket for your shavasana at the end or cushions. And we're going to just start with a little bit of breath work to arrive on the mat. So we are working with the element of air. So air is linked to the breath and it's linked to the heart. So your love and your compassion, both towards yourself and towards others that you know, that you love, and those that you don't know. So let's just place your left hand on your heart and your right hand on your belly. And we're going to breathe deeply, three-part breathing. We're going to breathe deeply into the belly first, and then you're going to feel that air lift and rise into your chest, into that top hand, and then up into the collarbone, and then let it exhale nice and slowly out. So just a couple of deep breaths first together. We'll just inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. One more. And exhale. We'll start to do that three-part breathing. So inhale, the belly rises, the chest rises. You feel the air move towards the collarbone. And then exhale. Inhale, belly rises, chest rises, breath expands into the collarbone. And you exhale. Do three more like this with your own guidance. Two more. Last one. And then just letting that breath control disappear. You can keep the eyes closed down for just a few more moments, just to set an intention for your practice today. So, working into this theme of air and love, I invite you today to set an intention around self-love. So, before we can share and expand our love outwards, we have to prioritize and nurture this self-love. So just taking a moment first and foremost to be so grateful and loving towards your body for the way that it works, for the breath that moves into your torso so effortlessly every day, the heartbeat in your chest, this body that you're about to move, and the mind that is going to be kind to your body and your needs today as we move through this practice. Just letting that intention of self-love and awareness to settle. You can slowly start to open the eyes and we'll start to move. We're going to inhale, take the arms up over the head, interlace the fingers and take the palms up towards the ceiling. Inhale, open the chest, look up. And then exhale, round that spine, bringing the palms to shoulder height. It's like a seated cat-cow. Inhale, lift and open the chest, look up. And exhale, rounding the spine. So keeping moving with that, starting to connect the breath with movement. And starting to bring your awareness physically towards that chest and heart area. So thinking about, as we move through this practice today, the opening in the front of the chest, the heart area, but also the sides of the chest and the back of the rib cage. So that 360-degree awareness of your chest. Finishing this last round wherever you are. We'll come back up to the top, look up, inhale. And then exhale, release. We're going to take your left arm behind your head and you're going to gently push down on that elbow with your right hand. You can stay here or you can take a bind behind the back, either grabbing onto a t-shirt or grabbing onto the fingers, interlacing the fingers. Think about pushing the head back towards that left forearm. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale deep into that belly. And then exhale. Let's take it to the other side. So that right arm's going to come behind you, gently pushing down on that right elbow or taking the bind on this side. Breathing deep into the belly if you can. Taking one more breath here. And then release it and bring both hands behind your ears now. So think about interlacing those fingers, but think about lifting the head up. So we're growing tall through that spine, reaching up and out of those sit bones. Inhale here in the center. And then exhale, let's twist over towards your left. Inhale to the center. Exhale to the right. Two more each side. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, center. Exhale. One more. Last one on this side. Come back to center. Release those hands. We're going to turn onto our bum. So bring the knees up. Feet are planted. Hands behind the hips. Fingers pointed towards the bum. We're going to inhale, push through those heels, lift the hips, coming into your reverse tabletop. And then just relax the head back. Feel that opening in the throat, opening the collarbones towards the ceiling. Inhale, pushing through the heels to lift the hips a little higher. Exhale. Two more breaths, yeah. Last one. And exhale, let's bring the bum down. We're going to lift the legs, shins parallel to the mat for your boat. You can keep the hands there or you can take them out long. We're going to move through some boat pumps now. So just draw those shoulders back and down. Inhale here. Exhale, lower down with control. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale, lift. Coming back to your boat. We'll move through two more of those, nice and slow. Inhale. Exhale, lower down. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale to lift. Inhale at the top. Exhale to lower. Inhale at the bottom now. Exhale to lift. And then we'll cross the ankles and roll onto all fours, coming into your tabletop. Let's move through some cat-cows in all fours. We're going to inhale, drop the belly, the gaze goes up. Exhale, tuck that tailbone, round the spine. Inhale, drop the belly, open the chest forward. And then exhale, round that spine, feel the back of the rib cage opening up towards the ceiling. One more. And then coming back to center, we're going to place the right hand in between, or in the middle of the mat under your face. And we're going to inhale, peel the left arm up, open the chest towards the ceiling. And then exhale, we're going to thread that left arm down, coming to rest on that left shoulder, twisting and looking up towards the ceiling over that right shoulder. You can stay here, or you can walk that right hand away from you towards the front of the mat. Option to stay here or extend that right leg. And if you want to add some balance, you can lift that right leg off the mat. We're going to find 3 more breaths wherever you are. One more. And exhale. Let's bring that right knee down if you lifted it and walk that right hand back towards the face, pushing into it to come back to your tabletop. And then we'll take it to the other side. So left hand plants down. We'll inhale and peel that right arm up, open the chest towards the ceiling. And then exhale, thread it through. Gaze goes over that left shoulder up towards the ceiling. You can walk that left hand away from your face now towards the top of the mat. You can stay here or you can extend that left leg, maybe lifting it, coming into a balance variation. Wherever you are, let's find 3 breaths on this side. One. Dropping that extended leg if you've lifted it. Walking that left hand towards the face now and pushing into it to come back onto all fours. We're going to just gently walk the hands away from the body on little gecko fingerprints. And we're going to keep the hips above the knees. And we're going to just melt the heart down towards the mat, coming into your puppy pose. So you can either bring your forehead down to the mat. You can use a block if you need to bring the floor closer towards you. Or you can just allow the chin to rest on the mat and allow that heart to just melt. Feeling a stretch in the front of the chest, feeling a stretch in the shoulder blades. Let's take 2 more breaths here. And then start to walk the hands back towards the body, coming back into your tabletop. We're going to curl the toes under and we're going to lift the hips up into your first downward facing dog. And just pedal out the feet, 1 foot at a time, 1 knee bends at a time. And you can start to exaggerate that bend, coming into the hips a little bit and twisting from side to side. Take a couple more breaths here, just gently warming up the body with tenderness and care. And then let's start to turn those pedals into baby steps up to the top of the mat. And we'll interlace the fingers behind the back. Draw the palms together and the knuckles up towards the ceiling. And then just hang here in your forward fold. You can nod the head yes and shake it no. You can soften the knees. Feeling that stretch in the shoulders again. Take 1 more breath here. And then exhale, release the hands with control. We're going to start to roll up vertebra by vertebra, nice and slowly. Head and neck comes up last. Standing here in your Tadasana, the feet are hip distance apart. You can place that left hand on the heart, that right hand on the belly. Let's take 2 deep 3-part breaths here. So inhale into the belly, the chest, the collarbone. Exhale. One more. Inhale into the belly, the chest, the collarbones, and exhale. Just taking one more moment before we start to move to check in with that intention, to move through this practice with kindness towards your body and kindness towards your mind. So if the mind starts to wander and move into the state of ego or being hypercritical, just coming back to that deep belly breathing. And let's release the hands down to your mountain pose, and we'll start to flow through our sun salutation. So we'll inhale, take the arms up, look up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bring the hands down to the mat. Inhale to your halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, plant the hands and step back to your plank. In your first plank, let's just drop the knees down and we can uncurl the toes. We're going to inhale, grow tall through that spine. Exhale, lower down with control, tucking those elbows in. Inhale to your cobra, opening the chest towards the front of the mat. And exhale, coming to your downward facing dog. In your downward facing dog, you can either find stillness here for a couple of breaths, or you can move into a down dog twist. So staying where you are, or grounding down through that left hand. We're going to lift the right hand and take it towards the left ankle, twisting and looking under that left armpit. Take 2 more breaths here. 1 more. And exhale, bring that right hand back down. Ground down into that right hand, release the left and take it over to the right ankle, twisting and looking up towards the ceiling under that right armpit. Let's take 2 more breaths here. 1 more. Release that left hand down. We're back in our downward facing dog. 1 more breath here. Lift the tailbone up as you inhale. And exhale, draw the heels down towards the mat. Inhale, let's bend the knees, look forward. We're going to step the right foot up and then the left foot up to our forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, release the head down. Ground down through those feet. Let's inhale. We'll take the hands up towards the ceiling again. And exhale, bring them through the heart center. Releasing them down at your side. Taking 2 breaths here in your mountain pose. Inhale, growing tall. Ground down through all 4 corners of both feet. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale, soften the shoulders back and down. And we'll start to move again. Inhale, palms up. Exhale, hands down to the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, plant the hands and step back to your plank. Option again, this time to drop the knees, or option to stay in your plank. If you're staying in your plank, we're going to inhale and come forward onto the tippy toes. And exhale, lower down with control. Uncurl the toes, lift up to your cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Let's take 3 breaths here. Inhale, tailbone lifts, spine lengthens. Exhale. 1 more. And exhale. On your next inhale, let's bend the knees and look forward. We'll make our way to the top. You can walk, step, or hop to your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, circle the palms up towards the sky. Exhale, hands down at your side, mountain pose, and we'll keep moving. Let's inhale the palms up. We'll bend the knees and sit down into our chair pose. Exhale here. Inhale, grounding down through the heels. Maybe you lift the toes. Exhale to sit deeper. One more. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands and step back to your plank. Always the option to drop the knees. We'll inhale, come forward on the toes if you're in your full plank. Exhale, everybody's lowering down. Uncurl the toes. Inhale, lift up to your cobra. Maybe you come to your upward facing dog this time. And exhale, downward facing dog. Let's inhale the right leg up towards the ceiling, and we're going to bend that right knee, stacking that right hip on top of the left. Inhale here. Exhale. One more inhale. And exhale. On your next inhale, let's bring that knee through, and we're going to step that right foot in between the hands, coming into your low runner's lunge. Finding a nice stable base, we're going to inhale, take the arms up, coming to your high lunge. Exhale, we're settling in here for 2 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale, make some space for those ears and the neck. One more. Exhale. We're going to bring the palms behind the head. You can interlace the fingers. We're going to inhale, grow tall here. Exhale, we're going to twist towards the right side of your mat. Inhale to the center. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Staying here, we're going to bring that left heel down now. That left heel is down on the mat, and we'll release the hands to warrior 2. 3 breaths here. Inhale. Exhale, soften into the strength of this pose. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. And exhale. On your next inhale, we're going to straighten that left leg and exhale here. Then we're going to inhale, reach forward towards the front of your mat and bring your right hand down to your shin or a block. Left arm is reaching up towards the sky. Inhale, lengthen, reaching those fingers up to the ceiling. Exhale here. One more inhale. And exhale, strong through both legs. We're going to reverse the triangle. So both legs stay straight. The left hand comes down, right arm up to the ceiling. Inhale, feel the stretch in the side of that right rib cage now. Exhale. One more. And exhale, coming back up to standing. We're going to keep the feet as they are for now, and we're going to interlace the fingers behind the back. Then we're going to inhale, open the chest towards the ceiling. Exhale, rebend that right knee. That right shoulder is coming down to that right knee, inside the right knee to your humble warrior as the knuckles go up towards the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale, just soften the neck here. Inhale 2. Exhale. One more inhale. And exhale. Let's straighten the right leg where you are. Keep those hands interlaced behind the back. And then we're going to turn the right toes in and bring the head down towards the center of the mat, the center of the gap, coming into your wide-legged forward fold. So those palms are still behind you, reaching up towards the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale. Softening the neck. Letting gravity draw the head down towards the mat. One more inhale. And exhale, release the hands down to the mat, nice and slow with control. We're going to turn those right toes back towards the top of the mat, so towards that left top edge of the mat. And we're going to bend that right knee and start to drop the hips down towards your Skandasana. You can use a block here for a bit of extra support if you want. If the hips are coming down enough, you can flex those left toes towards the ceiling. And then we're going to place the right hand down and we're going to inhale, peel that left arm up towards the ceiling. And exhale, let's start to take some circles with that left hand, just giving that wrist a little bit of respite. Take 2 more breaths here. So changing direction if you haven't yet. One more. And exhale, let's bring that left hand down. So both hands are down on the mat. We're going to walk them towards the front of the mat, coming back to our low runner's lunge. That left hand is going to plant down inside that right foot. And we're going to inhale, peel that right arm up towards the ceiling, coming into your low lunge twist. Inhale here. Exhale. Inhale 2. And exhale. Let's bring that left knee down to the mat now, and we'll uncurl those left toes. Pushing through that left hand, we'll step that right foot back to your supported plank. That right arm is staying up towards the ceiling. You can stay here, or you can take that right arm over the right ear and lift that right leg. So coming into a balanced side plank. Inhale, lengthen fingers away from toes. Exhale. One more option. So you can stay here, or you can bend that right knee behind you and take that right hand back towards the right ankle to grab on. Moving towards your supported candy cane. If you're taking this variation, you'd want to think about kicking that right foot into the right hand to create a bow candy cane shape in the chest. Wherever you are, we're going to take 2 more breaths. One more. And exhale, let's release. We're going to bring that right hand down. Keep that right leg lifted if you had it up, or lift it if you didn't. And we're going to move through some push-ups. So we're going to inhale here. Exhale, bend at the elbows and lower the chest down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. One more. And exhale, lower down. Lift up. Let's bring that right knee back into your all fours, your tabletop. We'll curl the toes under and we'll lift the hips up to the ceiling, back into your downward facing dog for 3 breaths. So just coming back to that breath, maybe regulating the breath if you lost it. We'll take 1 more breath here before we move on. On your next inhale, let's take that left leg up towards the ceiling. Let's bend that left knee, open and stack the hips, left one on top of the right. Inhale here. Exhale. 1 more. And exhale. Let's bring that left knee through. We're going to step it in, the left foot in between the hands, coming into your low runner's lunge, and then finding your base. We're going to inhale, rise up to your high lunge. Exhale, settle in here for 2 more breaths. 1 more. Then bringing the hands behind the head, interlace the fingers, lifting the crown of the head with those hands, growing tall. Inhale. And exhale, twist towards the left. Inhale, center. Exhale to the right, feeling the difference in the hips as you move from left to right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. And exhale to the right. We're going to drop that right heel down now and release the hands coming into your warrior two. And I'll just turn around so I'm facing you still. So resting the gaze on that middle finger of that left hand. Draw the left knee out. So you're opening the hips. One more. Inhale here. And exhale. Let's inhale, straighten that left leg. And exhale here. Then we'll inhale the left hand towards the top of the mat and down to that left shin. The right arm goes towards the ceiling. You can use a block here again. You need to bring the ground up a little higher. Inhale, active through the core, lifting through those right fingertips. Exhale. One more inhale. And exhale. Staying strong and straight through both legs. We'll reverse your triangle. Right hand down. Left arm up. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Let's come back up to standing. We're going to interlace the fingers behind the back again. Draw those palms together. Draw those shoulder blades back and down. Inhale, look up, open the chest. Exhale, bend that left knee. Left elbow, left shoulder rather, comes inside the left knee. Palms and knuckles up towards the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale. Each exhale, you just feel yourself soften, releasing any tension in the neck. On your next inhale, let's straighten that left leg. Let's bring those left toes in so both feet are parallel. And we'll allow that head to just melt towards the mat, coming into your wide-legged forward fold. Drawing those palms together, drawing the knuckles up towards the ceiling. Let the head be heavy and relaxed. One more inhale here. And as you exhale, let's release the hands back down with control. We're going to turn the left toes towards the right top side of the mat. And we're going to bend that left knee, coming into Skandasana on this side. So taking it as far as it feels okay. Maybe using a block for that extra bit of support. If the hips come down enough, you can bring those right toes flex towards the ceiling on this side. And then we're going to use the left hand as our anchor. Right arm peels up as we inhale. And exhale, just start to take some circles with this right wrist. Changing directions if you haven't already. One more inhale. And exhale, right hand comes down. Let's walk the hands towards the front of the mat, framing that left foot in your low runner's lunge. We'll ground down through the right hand this time. Inhale, open up towards the left side of the mat. Left hand reaches up towards the ceiling and we're opening that left shoulder towards the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale. One more. And exhale. Let's bring that right knee down again and uncurl those right toes. Keep the left hand towards the ceiling and we'll step that left foot back to your supported side plank. All the options available on this side as well. So you can stay here, or you can lift that left leg for balance and take the left hand over the left ear. Option to stay here, or option to bend that left knee and grab the left ankle behind you with the left hand, coming into your candy cane version. Inhale. Exhale wherever you are. One more. Then releasing that left ankle if you've got it. We're all going to place our left hand down on the mat. Keep that left leg lifted and we'll move through those push-ups. So we're going to inhale here. Exhale, lower down with control, tucking those elbows in. Inhale, push up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, push up. Exhale, lower down. And inhale, push up once more, and we'll bring those knees down to your tabletop. Let's take the knees as wide as the mat. Let's bring the toes together, and we're going to melt the hips down into your child's pose. Just taking this pause here, taking a few breaths, allowing the breath to expand into your belly. Just taking this moment to check in with the mind. Notice if you've been kind and self-loving in the practice so far, or could you be a little bit kinder and more self-loving in the next phase? Because love is a practice, not necessarily something that we master, but we're always practicing. It's like we're practicing our yoga to get stronger and to get more flexible. Taking one more breath here. And then exhale. Let's come back up into your downward facing dog. We'll take one breath here. And exhale. Inhale, bend the knees, look towards the top of the mat. Make your way to your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Let's sit the hips back and down. We'll inhale the arms up to your chair pose. Exhale, sitting deeper. Inhale. Exhale. One more. And exhale, let's stand up to your Tadasana. One inhale here. And then we'll start to move again with a little more pace. We'll inhale the arms up. Exhale, hands to mat. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, stepping back to your plank. Option to drop the knees as always. We'll lower down on the exhale. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's keep moving. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, bend that right knee. One inhale here. Exhale, step that right foot through the hands to your low lunge. We're going to inhale, rise up to your high lunge. Exhale here. Bring the hands behind the head. We'll inhale, twist right. Exhale here. Inhale, back to center. Exhale to the left and drop that left heel down. Release the hands to your warrior two. One inhale here. And exhale. Inhale, straighten that right leg. Exhale here. Inhale, reach the right fingertips forward and down to your triangle. Left fingertips reaching towards the ceiling. One inhale here. Exhale. Strong and straight through both legs. Let's reverse that triangle. Left hand down, right arm up. One inhale to reach up towards the ceiling. And exhale. Bring the hands behind the back now. Interlace the fingers. We'll inhale, open the chest up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bend that right knee down, bend that right knee and bring that right shoulder towards that right knee. Inhale here. Exhale. Let's bring those right toes in as we straighten the right leg and allow the head to just melt towards the mat in that wide-legged forward fold. One more breath here before we move on. And exhale, release the hands down to the mat. We'll turn those right toes out again. We'll bend that right knee, drop the hips as you come into your Skandasana. You can take the same arm variation this time with that right hand down, inhaling to take the left arm up. Option to do the circles with the wrist here, or option to take a bind, taking that left arm behind the back, reaching towards your right thigh. Think about opening that left shoulder up to the ceiling. We'll take 2 more breaths here. One more. Release the bind if you've got it. Bring that left hand down to the mat and we'll walk both hands round towards the top of the mat. We're going to plant that left hand down. Inhale, peel that right arm up. Exhale. Option to drop that left knee again, or option to step that right foot back straight into your side plank. So option to do either. You can use that left knee to support your side plank, or you extend both legs. Let's take 2 breaths wherever you are. One more. And exhale, both hands down. We're back in our plank. We'll take one goodbye inhale here. And exhale, lower down. Inhale, open the chest to your cobra or your upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. We're at the final stretch now. Inhale, left leg up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bending the left knee, opening the hips. One inhale here. And exhale, bring that knee through, step it into your low runner's lunge. Find your base and we'll inhale to rise up. Exhale here. Interlace those hands, bring them behind your head. Inhale to grow tall. Exhale to twist to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale to the right, and then bring that right heel down to the mat. Release the hands to your warrior 2. Inhale here. Exhale. Inhale, straighten that left leg, and exhale. Inhale, lift palm towards the top of the mat, and then down to that shin or a block. Right arm up. Maybe the gaze goes with it. One inhale here. And exhale. Straight and strong through both legs as we reverse your triangle. Right hand down, left arm up. One inhale here. And exhale. Coming back up to standing. We'll interlace the hands behind the back. Inhale, open the chest towards the ceiling. Exhale, bend that left knee, coming into your humble warrior. One more time. Left shoulder inside the left knee. Inhale. Exhale, relax the head. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Straighten that left leg Turn the left toes in. Allow the head to melt towards the mat in your wide-legged forward fold. And we'll take 2 breaths here. Inhale. And exhale, soften. 1 more. Exhale, release the fingertips to the mat with control. We'll turn those left toes towards the front of the mat again, towards that right top side, and we'll bend that left knee coming down into our Skandasana on this side. We'll place the left hand down on the mat again, and we'll peel the right arm up as we inhale. Staying here or taking the bind on this side, bringing that right arm behind the back, reaching towards that left thigh. Inhale, open that right shoulder up. Exhale. 1 more. And exhale, release the hand down to the mat. We're going to walk the hands round to the front, coming back to your low runner's lunge. Right hand stays grounded. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale here. Option again to drop that right knee, or option to keep it lifted and step back to your side plank. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more. Exhale. Bringing the left hand down, we'll come back to our plank. Option to have the knees down or lifted. Lower down. Inhale, open the chest. And exhale, tabletop through to your downward facing dog. Let's take a few breaths here in your downward facing dog. Inhale, tailbone lift. Exhale, heels draw down towards the mat. Inhale. Exhale, draw the shoulder blades away from the ears. 1 more. And exhale. Inhale, bend the knees, look towards the top of the mat. Make your way to your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Bend the knees, dip the hips, sit back into your chair pose 1 more time. Inhale. Exhale, sitting down into those heels, toes lifted. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more inhale. And exhale, standing up to your mountain pose. Placing that left hand on the heart and the right hand on the belly. Let's take 3 of those deep 3-part breaths. Inhale, right hand lifts. Left hand lifts, collarbone spread. Exhale. Inhale, belly lift. Chest lift. Collarbone spread. Exhale. Last one. And then let's start to make our way down. So we'll inhale the palms up to the ceiling 1 more time. Exhale, hands down to the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back to your plank. Option to drop the knees. We're going to lower down nice and slow together. Inhale. Exhale, tuck the elbows in for 5. Lower down with control for 4, 3, 2, 1. Lowering down onto the belly. Let's bring the forearms under the shoulders. And we're going to pull the elbows and the hands towards the body as you feel your collarbone spread coming into your sphinx. Take a couple more breaths here. going to walk the hands out, either diagonal edge of the mat, so top left, top right, on those gecko fingers. We're going to inhale, open the chest, look up. Exhale, lower down nice and slowly, starting to undulate the spine. We'll move through a few of those. Inhale, lift and open. Exhale, lower down, feeling this into the neck and the whole length of the spine. Two more. Last one. Bringing the hands back under the shoulders. We're going to push up into our tabletop. And then we're going to walk the hands towards the knees. We're going to stack our shoulders above the hip and above the knees and come into camel back bend. So we're going to place the hands on the lower back, fingers pointing down. We're going to inhale, push those hips forward, active through the glutes as you start to lift and open the chest, allowing the head to maybe just relax back. And just take a couple of breaths here. Feeling that heart opening once more. One more. To come back up, let's tuck the chin towards the chest again, and then slowly come back up. And then we'll move into a second round of that with a few options to take it deeper if you want to. So you can either keep the hands supporting that lower back as we go through that back bend, or we'll all start that way, but then we'll take it a little bit further if we want to. So you can either come down onto blocks, or you can reach down towards your ankles, or if you have a lot of space, uncurl the toes and then come down to the ankles. So let's all start with the supported version. So we're going to inhale, push the hips forward, activate those glutes and start to peel that chest up and open towards the ceiling. Option to stay here, or option to reach back to those blocks or the ankles. And we'll take 3 more breaths. If you've taken it further, place the hands back on that lower back as you come back up nice and slowly with control. And then we'll cross the ankles and come onto your bum. Extend the legs out long in front of you. And then we're going to flex those feet up towards the ceiling. We're going to inhale, take the palms up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, lower down and reach towards the ankles or the feet or the shins. Thinking about lengthening that spine. So we're reaching the nose towards the big toes, finding length. Taking a couple more breaths here with that intention to find length in the spine. And then start to release that length and that control and just allow the spine to curve, allow the nose to go towards the knees in a more passive forward fold. And then slowly start to roll back up We're going to bend this right knee and we're going to take it over that left extended leg. That foot is flat on the mat. That right foot is flat on the mat with the knee pointed up. And then we'll take the right hand behind you like an extra column. And we'll inhale the left arm up and exhale, hook that left elbow onto that right knee as you twist over towards the right. On the inhale, lengthening, growing tall. On the exhale, softening and twisting. One more. And then slowly start to unravel. Coming back to center. We'll take that right foot up and over, extend it out long, and we'll take it to the other side. So left knee comes in towards the chest. We'll take it over that right leg. That foot is flat on the mat. We'll take the left hand behind us. And we'll inhale the right hand up. Exhale, hook it onto that left knee and twist over towards your left. Inhaling to lengthen. Exhale to soften and twist. One more inhale here. And exhale, release back to center and unhook that left foot. Let's bring the hips lower down on the mat. We're going to make our way onto our back. So nice and slowly. You can hold onto the knees and just allow them to come with you, bringing them into the chest for a nice squeeze. And before we move into our final resting posture, you can just take a few circles with the knees, massaging the sacrum or coming into your happy baby. Just taking any movements that you might need right now. Before we finally move into our relaxation. And when you're ready, just allow your legs to extend out long. Let the feet be about as wide as the mat. And allow the feet to just relax and soften. The toes just flop to the sides. The palms are up towards the ceiling. Maybe taking a moment to adjust the shoulder blades so you just feel as comfortable as you can possibly feel. Maybe grabbing a pillow if you need one. Allowing yourself the next few minutes of undisturbed rest. Nowhere to be, nothing to do. There are no expectations on you right now. I'll leave you in quiet for a few moments and just allow your breath to soften the body and allow you to melt into the mat. Slowly start to become aware of the space around you once more. Just gently start to reawaken the body, maybe deepening the breath. Wiggling the fingers and the toes. And then without any rush, you can just keep the eyes closed or the gaze soft and just roll onto one side as you gently come back into the room. And when you're ready, you can make your way up to a comfortable seat. However feels comfortable for you, maybe the knees are crossed. Maybe you need a blanket or a bolster or a block. However, you can be comfortable and you can keep the spine nice and long, rolling the shoulders back and down. As you inhale, reach your crown of the head up tall, ground down through the seat bone. Just keeping this focus inwards for a little while longer. Just acknowledging yourself for taking the time to practice yoga today, for the discipline to make it to your mat, and give yourself this time to practice self-love, because it is a practice, not something we master. It's something we work towards every day. As you head into the rest of your week, just take a moment now to see if you can set an intention to do something nice and loving for yourself. Maybe it's another yoga practice, or maybe it's something else. However you'd like to show yourself self-love this week. Taking that moment now to dedicate yourself to that act of self-love and continuing this practice. If it feels okay to do so, you can bring the hands to the heart center. We'll take the thumbs up towards the brow area for happy, loving thoughts about ourselves and others. Down to the lips for happy, loving, and kind speech about ourselves and others. And down to the heart for happy, loving intentions towards ourselves and others, and a heart full of gratitude. Namaste.